Hey, everybody, welcome to B Block.
And sit down.
It's the Media Virus Podcast.
Episode 218.
Now, here's your infection team.
All right, we're back. It's episode 218. It's the B Block. We've got some news articles to get into, just some kind of shit we threw at a wall.
Yeah.
And we wanted to kind of bring this out. And it's 9 phrases arrogant people use without realizing how self centered they sound, according to psychology. So
Okay.
basically, as we read this article, we realized that we were self centered and arrogant.
Or preparing to file some sort of a lawsuit, because I'm pretty sure they just listened to the back episodes and wrote this article. Also, do you have the audio? Do you have it up in front of you, Matt?
I do. I'm looking at it. There's
Okay, so the photograph that's with it, it's over the shoulders of 2 people,
yeah.
presumably at least one male,
Okay.
and it looking at a pretty lady, and look at her hand.
Which one? The one
Now-
holding a pen or the one oddly lurched?
The
with
one with
the-
the pen. The one with the pen, because
Okay.
we're old enough to remember when that wouldn't have been a pen.
Yeah,
It would have been a 100 or 120 length cigarette.
Virginia Slim, Ultra Slim 120s. You come a long way, baby.
I want the Moors. You know, the dark ones. They got the dark paper. It's not as bad for you because it's the same color as the tobacco.
I know these. I like the Moors because they go out. If I put it down in the ashtray, they go out. So I can light them again. That was always the answer for why women smoked Moors. Anyway, but there's a thin line between confidence and arrogance, which many people often cross unknowingly. Arrogance can seep into your conversations without you realizing how self-centered you sound. This is because arrogant people often focus on themselves with little regard for others' perspectives. Psychology tells us that there are certain phrases that reveal this self-centeredness,
I
even
feel like
when
we're
the person
better-
isn't aware. What?
I feel like we're better than that.
What, reading the article?
No. What that whole description of man, that really sounds like an awful person. I'm not an awful person. You're not an awful person.
Actually, I've been told I'm an awful person enough that I've started to believe it.
Well, I've been told a lot too, but
But in this article, we will read this person's article and the 9 phrases that the arrogant people frequently use, unaware of their self-absorbed implications. This will help you recognize and avoid these phrases to maintain a more balanced and respectful conversation. Or you can take and hone these phrases so they work best for you. But the first of the
are you trying to say some arrogant motherfucker out there could know better? Because I'll tell you
first
what.
phrase here is I know better. Psychologists. Well, I mean, if it's what I said when we were discussing A Block, or like, I said no, we need to lead with this guy fucking the horse nose, and you were like, nah, man, we can't. You got, you gotta work up to, equestrian nasal rape.
Face fucking a horse.
Face fucking a horse. Psychologists often highlight the significance of empathy in human interactions, especially when it comes to communication. Arrogant individuals tend to lack these key traits, often believing their opinion or knowledge is superior to others. One phrase that often exposes this arrogance is I know better. This statement not only dismisses your opinion, or the depending of others, but also projects a sense of superiority and self-centeredness. Or you could just know better. It's like when
What happens when you really do know better?
it's like this reminds me of a joke. There's a city boy and a country boy, and the city boy goes out to the country.
Uh-huh.
The country boy is raising rabbits, and underneath the rabbits, there's all these little brown pellets.
Uh-huh.
And the city boy turns to the country boy and says, "What are those?" The country boy says, "Those are smart pills." So the city boy eats one and says, "This tastes like shit." And the country boy said, "You're smarter already." Right. But the point is, like, if you were going to grab a handful of rabbit shit,
Right.
and like Raisinets, and you were going to throw them in your mouth,
He slowed you down at least.
and if I came up to you, I would say, "Hey, don't eat that. I know better." Right?
Right.
So sometimes people just legitimately know better.
You might not want to let on that maybe you've eaten rabbit shit before, but you definitely know better, regardless of how you know better.
Right. Yes, you don't have to go into how you know.
Right.
No, you don't have to.
That's where you would be pompous. You'd be like, "No, I didn't eat the rabbit shit. I saw the rabbit shit."
When someone uses this phrase, they're essentially disregarding the input, experience, or feelings of others. Well, what if those others are stupid? You know what I mean?
I've seen it happen from time to time. There's some dumb bastards out there.
It's like saying their thoughts and ideas are the only ones that matter. I mean, it is, because, my thoughts and ideas are the only ones that matter. The problem is, many times those who use the phrase don't realize, "Oh, I know I'm doing it." They might think they're offering helpful advice or insights. They are, but instead, they're coming off as condescending and arrogant. That's your fucking problem. Understanding how to use these words can be perceived by others is the first step towards improving one's communication style and fostering more respectful interactions. Hey, why don't you go fuck yourself? Go read a fucking dictionary. What?
I don't go to therapy, but like I keep up on some of the lingo.
Yeah.
And I think this is how they do it. I'm not responsible for your feelings.
Right.
If just because I say something, I can't be held responsible for how you receive it.
That's my whole thing in life. I'm just telling you how things are. How you take it, that's your fucking problem. The second thing that we all have to stop saying, because everyone's a pussy, is that's easy. We all have different skills, abilities, and experiences that shape how we view tasks or situations. What's easy for one person might be challenging for another. An arrogant phrase I've encountered in my own life is, "That's easy." Well, that's because you're stupid. I remember a time when I was struggling with a complex project at work. Putting fries in a fryer is not that complex. A colleague, trying to assert his superiority, quickly dismissed my concerns with a wave of his hand and a casual, "That's easy. You just put the fries in the basket and then the basket in the oil." At that moment, not only did I feel belittled because I'm so fucking stupid, and I apparently have an inferiority complex, but it also emphasized the lack of empathy and understanding from my colleague, because he needs to understand me for some fucking reason. He didn't take into account the different skill sets which we each possess, or the effort I was putting into the project. Well, you burnt your hand 5 times, sweetheart. Why don't you go? Okay? Because I don't need anybody's help. Okay? Because apparently the third phrase. The phrase "I don't need anyone's help" is a classic example of arrogance. Independence is indeed a virtuous trait, But this statement often reflects an inflated sense of self-importance and ignores the fact that we, as humans, are social creatures. How come only fucking assholes I don't want to talk to tell me that humans are social creatures?
Because they seem to have that problem with more than just you, I would imagine.
I guess so. Scientific studies
Another
support the
program.
idea that humans are inherently social beings. According to research published in the journal Nature, our brains are wired to connect and collaborate with others. The study found that humans have evolved to work together and rely on each other for survival and growth. When someone continuously asserts that they don't need anyone's help, they're not only excluding arrogance, but also contradicting one of the fundamental aspect of human nature. Because everyone's the same. Everyone. We're all the same. No one is different. There has never been humans that didn't want interaction with other fucking people. Never once. Oh, wait. That wasn't it. Hang on. I got lost.
Take it easy, dude.
Sorry.
Take it easy.
Recognizing our interdependence and valuing the contributions of others can lead to more productive, and less self-centered interactions.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck?
You know what?
You know, I've noticed when I have less self-centered interactions, I wind up either having to give something up or do something I don't want to do.
That's right.
So why would you do that?
Because you get the chance to say the next thing.
I don't care.
I did it all
by myself.
Fuck him. I did it all by myself.
But hang on for 1 second, because my sister's husband literally taught his children, don't share. That's how you lose your stuff. Meanwhile, I mean, he's passed on now, but he was the special counsel to 48 states for State Street Bank or some shit. Like, he was a really powerful guy. And don't share. That's how you lose your stuff. So
that's spectacular.
But number 4 is I did it all by myself. While it is important to take credit for our achievements, it's equally essential to acknowledge the help and support we've received along the way. The phrase I did it all by myself often surfaces in the conversations with Matty Rockdeff when he's talking about everything he had to do. Often surfaces in the conversations of arrogant individuals. This statement, while seemingly a mark of pride, can come across as dismissive of contributions of others. But here's the thing, bitch. If I did it all by myself, there were no other contributions by others. That's why you say I did it all by myself, because you want to exclude others.
Yeah. I mean,
there's no other reason to, like, here's the thing. If something needs to be done, like like a group project, right? Group project. If everybody's supposed to do something, but I had to do it all by myself, you're goddamn right. I'm going to tell the fucking teacher I did it all by myself.
Yeah.
That's because I did. But, you know, I have to, you know,
and you know, that's funny, that whole I did it all by myself. I had, like, when I talk to people about the show, I say our as if they know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, I say our too.
And I feel weird saying my. So, yeah.
We were I was talking about the podcast in therapy today. And because, I mean, the past couple of episodes, I haven't even really wanted to.
Right.
But, like, you know, I'm kind of like, I was like, I'm looking forward to it tonight. Like,
yeah,
you know, I'm kind of getting back.
Yeah, it felt right again.
Yeah, and it's, you know, and just talking, you know, having, like, basically all we do is hold each other responsible. you know, either of us would do this on a Wednesday night
Mhm.
if we had to do it by ourselves.
No.
Because we could each do whatever we wanted to on our own, but we
Yep.
save it all for this 3-hour stretch there, whatever the stretch happens to be.
Yep.
We just kind of chuck it out there. And
Imagine the hours of content the two of us could produce independently throughout the week. There might be like 1 or 2 hours.
there could be. But what we do is the beginning of the week is all prep for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Then the end of the week is, the taking all of that content that we've made and trying to do something with it.
Yep.
We put out the podcast, put out the audio presentation that we put out, which is edited. And, if you're enjoying what you're listening to now, but it's moving kind of slow, that's the nice thing about the podcast too. Dude, often I listen to the show on like 1.2 or like 1.5
Do you
speed.
really?
It makes it go quicker.
Well, then I'll have to go. Now I'm going to have to do the show down here.
No, don't do that.
well, I won't sound right at 1.5 speed.
It does something to it,
I'll sound
especially on the podcast. On the podcast, it manages it doesn't make it so squeaky.
Oh, you mean like Spotify's 1.5 speed?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not as bad. But the fifth thing on this list is I don't care. Empathy and consideration are crucial for building strong relationships. However, the phrase "I don't care" is often used by arrogant individuals reflecting a lack of concern for others' feelings or opinions. Now, am I supposed to feign care? Am I supposed to feign interest in your fucking stupid shit?
No, but care is such a loaded word.
It is a fucking loaded.
So I try to meet everybody in the middle on this one, and I don't tell them that I don't care. I just tell them about the lack of fucks that I give, or how I might be all out of fucks.
I've got a fuck around here somewhere, and you can fucking have it if I can find it. And when someone regularly uses this phrase, it indicates a self-centered approach to conversations and relationships. It suggests that their own opinions, feelings, or desires are the only ones that matter. Because, are you new? That's human nature.
Yep.
While it's okay to not care about every single thing, showing empathy and consideration towards others' perspectives is crucial in fostering positive relationships and avoiding sounding arrogant.
Well, you know what? I'm not wrong, Matt. I'm not wrong.
I know you're not wrong, okay? but we all make mistakes. It's a part of being human. However, admitting when we're wrong can be a tough pill to swallow, especially for those who tend to be arrogant. The phrase, "I'm not wrong," is often a defensive response that reflects an inability to accept mistakes or criticism. Now, see, here's where I can absolutely prove that I am not an arrogant individual. Because although I have said, I know better, that's easy. I don't need anyone's help. I did it all by myself. I don't care is kind of a mantra. I have no problem being wrong. And if you tell me I'm wrong, I'll be wrong. The problem is I'm not fucking wrong.
But if in fact you were, you would do it in a grand fashion.
If I were wrong, I would fucking admit to it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm very humble when something's my fault. Dude, as a matter of fact, I've spent my entire life trying to figure out how something's my fault. You name a problem that I had some input. You have kind of issue. There's something I could have done to prevent that from happening. I guarantee it. I could have taken better care of myself, and I could still be in one piece next week.
Well,
right?
yeah.
I could have done a better job maintaining my vehicles, and maybe I wouldn't have the problems I'm having now. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I wouldn't even probably. I know people that have had this, like, bought a car and then drove it their entire lives.
Yeah.
I know people that roll into a new lease every 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I for some reason, I have had 30 cars in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Not one of them worth more than $600. You know what I mean? I've paid more than $600, but
My stepfather has a 64 GTO that he's owned for more years than I've been alive.
that's what I'm saying. There are people that can do that. I'm not one of them, but you wouldn't understand. The phrase "you wouldn't understand" is one that I've encountered a few times because I'm so fucking stupid I don't fucking understand. It's a statement that inherently dismisses another's capacity to comprehend or empathize, often used by individuals who display arrogance and received by individuals who are mentally challenged. I recall being on the receiving end of this phrase during a particularly challenging period of my life called being awake. Not only did I feel like a dismissal of my capability to understand, but it also created an unnecessary barrier in communication. This phrase limits the possibility of open, empathetic conversation. Who the fuck wants that? Listen, the only open, empathetic conversation I'm having is with my therapist because I pay them to keep their fucking mouth shut.
Otherwise,
You understand what I'm saying?
Your soft parts.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just. I'm not going to show you my underbelly. You fuck. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Open and empathetic conversation. Get fucked. It's important to remember that even if someone hasn't experienced exactly what you have, they still may be able to provide comfort, perspective, or advice. We should never underestimate others' capacity for understanding or empathy. Well,
And
listen, I can only judge everyone else by my level and capacity of understanding and empathy. And
that's why the next phrase is so important.
Right. See, here's the thing:
I can only judge you by my standards. So no offense, but
no, I remember my parents telling me as a small child that I was way too sensitive and empathetic.
Right.
And you should cut that shit out or I'll give you something to cry about. And but I always underestimate others' capacity for understanding and empathy, always, because I know what mine is.
Yeah.
No, mine is unusually low. At first, but no offense, but I don't give a fuck. No offense, but is a phrase that is often used as a precursor to potentially offensive or hurtful comments. Yeah, that's what it's for.
That's why you say no offense, but
My mom, I swear to God, one of her opening lines was, "I don't want to fight, but."
we're gonna.
And it's like, "Oh, so you want to fight?" And she's like, "No, I don't want to fight. So we're fighting?" And I realized that my understanding of arguing was just off my entire life.
Well, yeah.
Because it just.
Well, I mean that phrase, "I don't want to fight, but."
I don't want to fight, but here's the thing: is I have powerful lungs. Powerful lungs.
Oh, I understand.
I used to be able to like play in a punk band and sing without a microphone, and you could hear me.
Yeah.
So in a game of who can scream the loudest, I can fucking win.
Yeah.
I can fucking win without a problem in a game of who can scream the loudest.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, you've heard me open up and not even screaming, but just open up a little.
Yeah, but the point is like that's what I thought arguing was. Whoever could scream the loudest won.
But then you found out you had to make sense.
Making sense was the fucking hard part, really. Because but like, yeah, I don't want to fight, but you're an asshole. It's a direct quote. I'm not even joking. That's a direct quote from my mother. I don't want to fight, but you're an asshole. What? Those are fighting words, lady. I don't know.
Does she know that we'll be carving that into her tombstone?
I already bought the chisel.
We'll get a bottle of whiskey and film it for the show.
This phrase can lead to damaging relationships and creating unnecessary conflict. A more empathetic approach would be to communicate your thoughts in a respectful and considerate manner. If I could fucking do that, I wouldn't have half the fucking problems I have in my life. You know what I mean?
Best.
What's that?
I'm the best.
You're pretty awesome, Mike, but the phrase "I'm the best" is often a clear indicator of arrogance. Confidence is important, but this statement takes it a step too far, crossing into the territory of superiority. Well, if somebody is superior, while it's essential to believe in our abilities, declaring ourselves as the best not only reflects self-centeredness, but also leaves no room for growth or improvement. It shows a lack of respect for skills and achievements of others. You know what? This kind of takes me back to like America's the best because USA #1 motherfucker. America. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I ain't gonna. No. True greatness involves humility. Get the fuck out of here. True greatness is all about being boisterous, baby. It's all about empathy. The essence of human interaction lies in our ability to understand and share the feelings of others. This emotional connection we call empathy is what binds us together as social beings. Arrogance often reflected in phrases like "I'm the best" or "I know better." I'm
all
done
right.
with this. Let's see who this is.
The problem,
this guy just wrote this for the pussy. Lachlan Brown.
The
He's like, how am I
problem,
gonna?
the problem I have is I have empathy, but I rarely have sympathy.
Yeah. I can put myself in your shoes, but I'm hard on myself. So my therapist,
So
she's
buck
like,
up.
the way you view the lens that you view yourself with is so negative. And I'm like, yeah.
The fuck do you think I'm paying you for?
Have you heard? Have you heard anything positive come out of my fucking mouth? I'm in therapy.
Lady, I'm going to need you to keep up because that's why I sit here and pay you every goddamn week. If I know I was going to have to explain that, I'd have charged you.
This kind of hit kind of hard. I walk in. I'm emotional, you know,
Uh-huh.
and like, I'm gonna lose my toe. You know, I start talking about losing my toe. She's like, "Oh, what, are you diabetic?"
Thank you for checking my records.
Like, I'm sure I've complained about it. Like, I'm sure
Yeah,
like I.
it's a major thing in your life. It's something that you probably would have brought up.
It's something that when I talk about my like addictions and crutches, I usually mention the fact that if I could handle needles, I would be a heroin addict. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I like opioids, but when the script ran out for opioids, I didn't turn to the needle or street drugs. because that scared the shit out of me.
You turned to
I
food.
I went to booze first,
Yeah.
and then was able to find a decent pot supplier. Back then, it was tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back in the old days of prohibition. I want to thank the Twitch.
Yeah. Whoever stopped by on Twitch, it's good to have you.
They've been hanging out, or maybe it's just like one robot just making sure we don't have porno.
Could be. But we don't.
No, how would we?
Not this week.
Oh, we did talk about a guy trying to fuck a horse's nose.
That was news. That's pure news.
That's pure. That's true. That's information you need for the rest of your week. You know.
Yeah.
But another thing on the agenda here was this goofy bitch.
Which goofy bitch is that, Matt?
Well, I'm gonna. Oh, you motherfucker! Let me pop it up here on the screen. All right, so please tell me I'm not the only one. Woman buys Campbell's chicken noodle condensed soup from the grocery store, then reads the fine print. As a woman found out the right way to prepare Campbell's condensed chicken noodle soup, as it turns out, she's been doing it wrong this whole time. And the key was right on the entire time. Who doesn't know to mix? Okay. So she's been eating Campbell's fucking soup.
Double strength.
Just fucking. Now, when I make soup for Ryan, I'd say I mix it with about 3/4 of a can, maybe 7/8 of a can.
Yeah.
I always hold back a little water. He likes it stronger.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, all right, when I was a kid, one of the things that I was allowed to do was make condensed orange juice. And back in the day, orange juice used to come in a fucking cylinder that you stuck in the freezer, right? And
concentrated.
And the cylinder that you stuck in the freezer, you would take it out, open it up, dump it into the pitcher, and then fill it with three things of water, right? And that made the orange juice. So we're building the house in the Poconos.
Okay.
There's no house. It's a brick wall. It's just brick walls. There's not, right? And we've set up camp inside the brick walls. And my dad, I was maybe 10. We had a hose. Make soup, chicken noodle soup. And I got, what do you mean? He goes, you just take that and you put water in it. Okay. So with orange juice, use 3 cans of water.
Okay.
So with this chicken noodle soup,
you use 3 cans of water.
Cans of water. And like my dad knew I was an idiot. That's the thing that bothers me.
So you think this was his failing?
It's it's not that's the turd. We're displaying a picture of condensed orange juice.
You would squeeze that frozen bit out.
Yeah, and then you would fill that container up 3 times with water.
And have orange juice when you were done.
Yeah. So I filled it.
Pretty serviceable orange juice.
It was good. I liked it. So that's where I've screwed up. But I was a What's the stage? I was prepubescent.
Prepubescent.
This is an adult. So
I
she's
mean-
just
Do you know how fucking bad double strength Campbell's soup has got to be for you? Do you know how much salt that is?
well. I mean, if you're going to eat the whole can anyway, you know what I mean. Like Brian eats a whole one can. Like you take a can, take a bowl.
I know, but you're still putting half. You're still only putting half the liquid back. You're putting all that salt in without diluting it.
Oh. Well, there's a college professor fears for upcoming generations after a student reached a new stupidity tolerance limit. The incident pushes professors to his limit. Here, let's pop this up.
So the professor is the one who's upset.
Teaching in higher education can be an enriching experience, but it can also challenge the patience and sanity of even the most seasoned professors. Brian Latimer, a communications professor at a university in the United States, recently shared a story that left him questioning the intellectual trajectory of the future generations. In a candid Reddit post, Latimer recounted an experiment that pushed him to the absolute limits of his stupidity tolerance, involving one particularly unsettling student referred to as Mrs. Manhunter in his post. Latimer, who has worked with many first-generation college students, generally approached his role with patience and understanding. However, the interactions with Miss Manhunter left him both exasperated and concerned about the state of critical thinking among some students. Her stunningly ignorant response to a simple sarcastic remark was enough to make Latimer seriously reflect on the future of education and intellectual development in the coming generations.
Fuck.
Teaching at an institution with a diverse student body, many of whom are first-generation college students, come with its own set of challenges. Latimer was aware that many of his students might lack significant life experience or exposure to the world beyond their immediate surroundings. These gaps in knowledge can create unique teaching opportunities, but can also make classroom interactions unexpectedly difficult. The trouble began during the very first week of class when Mrs. Manhunter, a student who had no qualms about sharing her personal goals, revealed that she's attending college not for her education, but to secure a Mrs. degree. For those unfamiliar with the term, it's an old school phrase implying that a woman's primary objective in college is to find a husband who will take care of her financially.
Wow.
Mrs. Manhunter, it seemed, was not focused on her academic future, but rather on finding Mr. Right now, a partner from the university's prestigious law or medical schools. Latimer, though initially stunned by her blatant honesty, tried to maintain his composure, and he understood that many first-generation students may have complex and sometimes misguided reasons for attending college. And Miss Manhunter's approach to education wasn't unique in this sense. However, the reality of her mindset, the stage for the chaos that would unfold in the coming weeks. Little did he know this student would soon push him to a level of frustration he had never reached before.
Wow. She must be completely and totally irritating.
In a typical classroom setting, students would pitch their ideas in groups, and Latimer would offer feedback and guidance. When they arrived at Miss Manhunter's group, one of her classmates suggested a speech topic about colonizing the moon, a topic that, while ambitious, had the potential for engaging discussion. In the effort to lighten the mood and inject some humor into the conversation, Latimer joked that instead of colonizing the moon, perhaps they should blow it up, a reference to a ludicrous proposal made by a physicist named Alexander Abian in the 1990s. Abian famously suggested that destroying the moon could have beneficial effects on Earth. Naturally, Latimer was being sarcastic, but with Miss Manhunter missed the joke entirely. Without hesitation,
I'll use my P-38 space modulator.
My Marvin the Martian needs a little work.
it was pretty good. But without hesitation, she responded earnestly, stating that if the moon were destroyed, there would no longer be night. Latimer was understandably stunned into silence. Hang on a second.
That's good. That is rich.
Oh. What the fuck? All right. The sheer absurdity of the statement left him frozen, unable to respond immediately. The student who made the original suggestion about colonizing the moon recognized the confusion and attempted to explain to Miss Manhunter how the Earth's rotation and the presence of the sun are what cause night and day, not the moon itself. What? Even with this explanation, Miss Manhunter remained steadfast in her belief that the moon directly caused nighttime. This fundamental misunderstanding of basic science left Latimer both exasperated and deeply concerned. In his post, he even humorously confessed that it was the moment in his life when he seriously considered taking up drinking just to cope with the sheer ridiculousness of this conversation.
I mean, can you imagine talking to somebody who thought that nighttime was dependent on the moon?
Because, dude, by the time you're in college,
You should have some idea of how that works.
like a basic understanding of the solar system, even like,
Or just at least daytime and fucking nighttime.
oh, Big Daddy's in the house.
I mean, if you could just understand daytime and nighttime, that would be fucking fabulous.
Yeah, I don't. Yo, Big Daddy.
Yep.
Have you heard any of this?
No, but I agree with it.
Dude, she said if we blew up the moon, there'd be no nighttime.
Wow.
It'd be, and like it was a joke conversation, but she wasn't joking.
Wow.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
No, there's no other fun examples that he uses that one and then says, oh, there's other ones too.
But there wasn't.
But yeah, but this woman went to college. The only reason she's in college, Big Daddy, is to find a husband. She's got no interest in.
Ladies. Ladies. If you are trying to find a husband, going to college is not the way to do it. You need to.
First of all, men are not going to college at an incredible rate.
And men aren't going to college to find women.
Men, no. If a man's going to college, it's not to get. Well, maybe something that maybe now, that they find out that there's all that, all that strange there. But it's mostly women going for higher education. Men have given up from especially young men. They've just they can watch Pornhub and they can get DoorDash. They can pay somebody.
Young men have figured out that most women don't really have a whole lot to offer.
That's yeah.
So, I have asked this question many times.
Mechanical, But I think go ahead.
It comes down to asking a woman what is it that she brings to a relationship, and most women will answer with their physical attributes.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you have to be less concerned about a woman's physical attributes.
Exactly.
Find the beauty in the person, not the find the beauty in the personality, not necessarily the physical.
Got to find the beauty on the inside, if you know what I'm saying.
Beauty fades, looks fade.
Yep.
And if your loved one can get hit by a fucking bus, then they're all fucking banged up looking. Stop loving them. Well, you might if you're all fucking worried about how you look. I'm just saying. But let's wind down B block. Let's get Pete in the
Saddle.
in the mix, and we'll get fired up again.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been 218B here on the Media Virus Podcast. We'll join you right back here in mere moments as we reset and get ready to have Pete join us for the C block of this 218th telling of the Media Virus Ways. We'll be back right after, let's say this.
I wish I could hear the bumpers through